So walk me through the last 5 years. You were in jail in 19, deplatformed everywhere. You come out, still deplatformed.
Come out still deplatformed and done the most important work I've ever done.
Which is
done
what?
a 5-part series called The Rape of Britain.
Okay.
And what I thought is, do you know, say for example in Telford, so people who understand the scale of the rape scandal, yeah? Telford has a 1.7% Muslim population, which means there's not many there. Yeah? Luton's 50%, okay?
50?
50.
Wow.
Telford's 1.7.
Okay.
Now the police identified 200 men that had been raping in Telford. They identified 1,000 victims, 5 of them are dead. Yeah? This is how big the problem is. Right? Now if you take Telford and you take the Muslim community, which is about 3,500, and you get rid of the women and you get rid of the under 16s and the kids, you've got about 1,000 men. So the police, I'm looking at it thinking, well, the police have identified 200. Now, they've put me in jail to stop the grooming scandal and to stop us talking about it. I'm going for it. Yeah? So I spent 12 to 18 months, when I come out of prison, I spent 12 to 18 months in the town of Telford. And I sat down and got to know survivors and their families. And I'd interview them for 3 hours, 4 hours, 3 times, 4 times. Yeah? And I built a database. And we've done a police-style investigation. And I take the credit for it, because people see me, but behind me there was a team of volunteers. Yeah? And and I remember when I went to Telford and I had all the local lads saying, you need to be careful up here, Tom. Yeah? They run this town. And I was sitting there thinking, 1.7%. How the hell ain't you lot smashing these lot, yeah, for what they're doing? And I think we were having a go in Luton, and we're 50%. Yeah? We were having a proper go with them for years. We didn't take their shit. They knew that there was a consequence. But I'm looking in 1.7 and they control the whole town. Everyone's shit scared of them. They're like a mafia. I think, how have you not stood up to these men? What's happened to us? What has happened to the communities? Where's the English men? And that's all this going on. So I'll sit down and interview all these girls. And I built this database. When the men were named by 3 girls that don't know each other, that was my, I'm coming. Yeah. And what the purpose of this was for. In Telford, the police identified 200, but they only prosecuted 11. Yeah? As I started doing this investigation, I built a wall of the men. And some were in the CPS, some were in the police, some were Labour councillors. This is the level of interaction within the Pakistani mafia. That's what it was like. No wonder they got it on lock. Yeah? Everywhere you turn, they're all interlinked. And the Benali gang was what this gang were called in Telford, the Benalis. Now, my purpose was, I meet these girls and these survivors, and they might have been raped 15 years ago. They're still suicidal. They're still drinking. They're still struggling. They're still looking over their shoulder. They still haven't got a minute's peace. And I was looking at the gangs. They're all driving fucking Porsches. They've all got successful businesses. They don't give a shit. So the purpose of the film was to make them give a shit. Yeah?
And yeah, I've seen your interviews. I mean, I've watched the pieces.
People are going to see who you are, lads.
They're in the car and you're interviewing them through the
investment club. Today, I consider it the best investment that I've ever made. We get 4 projects presented a week by their associated CEOs. Personally, I'm completely blown away by the quality of these projects, and I know of nowhere else where I would be given this same opportunity. Each week that passes, I feel more appreciative of the fact that I'm a member of this group. The vibe was just tremendous. Everybody's on the same wavelength. We just clicked. Everybody listened to each other, enjoyed their company. It was just magical. Take action. Don't take my word for it. Due diligence you need to do. And I really hope that someday down the road I see you in the club. It far exceeded expectations, without question.
window, and you're saying 3 different girls, all independently named you. What do you have to say for it?
Well, you've got to say for yourself, and the purpose for my purpose, just to be honest, was to expose it. I want the neighbours to know who he is.
Right.
When he walks down the street, yeah, people are going to look at you now, Charlie. Whose name was Charlie? People are now going to look at you. People know what you've done. Yeah, and I was sure of it because 3 girls that don't know each other have said it. And the frustrating thing was we uncovered police corruption. Police were working with the gangs. In fact, the main police officer, Inspector Jim Bayliss, who I find in the documentary and question him, the case is collapsed under his leadership. Yeah. Then we find out he's working with the gangs. He's spotted with the gangs. Yeah, we put trackers on their cars, including the police officers' cars. Yeah,
you go above and beyond.
Yeah, we were going.
You secretly record people. Yeah. You track them.
But we knew it. I knew. You see that gang, and I had some gangsters ring me up. So there's another gangster in that town, one of the main Pakistani gangsters, and he rang me up. He goes, "Yo, Tommy, man, what the fuck?" He goes, "Bruv, I ain't a groomer." I said, "I know you're not." I said, "I know everything about every one of you." Yeah? I said, I know they're your mates, mate, but I know there's not one single allegation against you. He goes, oh, and he must have been so happy. He goes, you're not going to, I'm not getting named then, Tommy. No one's naming me. I said, mate, I've spoke to everyone. I know who the rapists are and I know who they're not. But what I wanted to do, so I put all the faces of the rapists, yeah, because we can only cover a certain amount in the work we're doing. But I wanted them all to think, shit, yeah. And they all started selling their businesses. And I mean, they must have chartered their own flights to Pakistan, yeah. Literally, they all left. They all left, but they knew, and for me, I thought, yeah, well, good. But then I didn't think about because they blew my car up. They went to my mum's. And then I started thinking, maybe this is why no journalist takes them on. Because literally they come. And then I had them, so my mum said the neighbour knocked and said a car was so the neighbour videoed a car of Muslims outside my mum's house and they were videoing her house. So I took the registration plate, paid a private investigator, got the address of the Muslim lad, which was Dudley, and I looked him up on social media, and we found the best private investigators, so we found everything, yeah? We were on them. Like literally, we knew where they were, we knew how they're laundering their money. How ain't the police doing them, yeah? But we got so intact on this gang, and then they're ringing me up, threatening my kids, threatening the schools, saying they're gonna rape them, all these things. Police don't do anything. Then they're smashing up and blowing up the victims' houses. Like, it went mad. And I thought, for years I've always talked about Islam, but I've never made it personal. With this gang, I made it personal. But when they went to my mum's house, again, there's only one language I understand. So they went to my mum's house. And then within the 2 days, within 48 hours, I was at his front door. And I just knocked at his front door. And his nephew answered. And I said, where's him, man? And he goes, what are you doing here? I said, ring him now and tell him I'm here. What's he gone to my mum's house for? And I looked him up on social media and he's friends with all the rapists. So I know what it's about. I said, tell him. And then he started trying to say that he'd sold the car. I said, man, I said, listen, lads, I know where your mum are. I know where your family are. I said, I could have come here with 100 men. I said, but you're not going to be terrorising my family. It's just not going to happen, not without repercussions. But that's the only way you have to live with them. And at the same time then, all the pressure that comes with it. And it does work. It does work. So that took us on the grooming gang scandal. We made a 5-part series. If you want to watch these films, you can watch them at trfilms.co.uk. Do you know how frustrating it is when you're making the most important stories, giving a voice to the most forgotten people, and if you're censored? And you're censored. When I sat in jail this most recently about a film I made, Elon Musk shared, Nicole was the first story we told, a wonderful young girl, beautiful young girl who was impregnated at 13 when she was raped, 100% DNA match for the rapist. He didn't get prosecuted. Her life was destroyed by these gangs. Elon Musk shared her film. It was the most, I was sat in jail, I was like, mate, the world's talking about this issue. It's happening. It's worked. All that hard work of not me. Do you know how many survivors? So people get to hear my story. Do you know Sammy Woodhouse? I look at these survivors that have told the stories, stood in the fire's way. Even Raj Mia, do you know him?
No.
Get him on. Yeah. Okay. Muslim lad in Oldham. Mate, I know what it's like to talk out against these gangs. He's took them all on. He's still living in Oldham. I'd be dead if I was still living around them. He's still in the middle of it. Taking them on, showing who they are, exposing them. So I think there's so many people who have not had any, not just recognition, but they've been attacked. Like the amount of people or whistleblowers that might have tried to be whistleblowers that just got shut down by the police, persecuted by the authorities, all of them were part of the cover-up. So where we are now, we're at a very different place now. And again, I'm a different man. I'm 42 years old, father of 3, 25 when I started the EDL. I've learned a lot. Probably matured a lot.
What have you learned?
Well, I've learned that we live in a totally corrupt society. We live in a total corrupt society. But what I've learned is that they've tried to crush every voice that's come forward, and our movement's voice is now louder than ever. And that if you can resist it, like I'm meant to be the most hated man in Britain. That's what they've tried to make me. All I get is love.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.